Hey guys, Pope Sano here, back with another pretty interesting update video about what is going on with Riot Games, and really the Season 14 changes in general. And these are big changes. Now look, we all know Riot Games is bad for leaks, as exemplified by the recent champion Briar, who had her abilities leaked not long before her reveal. Well, here we are again. Riot has accidentally leaked another potential massive change to the map itself, and I want to talk about this a little bit because it actually has really huge implications for how the game is going to be played. Riot has hinted at the changes to map terrain recently, and honestly it looks like they're probably going through with it thanks to a leak on Twitter, and I believe maybe it was a leak on YouTube as well, but the video and whatnot has already been privated, so I can't quite confirm. However, let's take a quick look at this. As you can see, there will be brand new walls added and walls removed as showcased here in this screenshot. The first thing I want to point out is that we can see Baron Pit is getting removed entirely. Yes, in fact, it is no longer a pit at all, but it's going to be like an open field, I guess, with Baron maybe sitting there in the middle. And this is actually massive for the obvious reason of both teams will have access to Baron Pit in the same way. Whereas before, of course, one team gets to access the river and the front of the pit, whereas the enemy team kind of has to wrap around from the red side there. But now both teams are going to have equal access as they're just outright removing these walls. I don't know if there's going to be like an elevation difference or anything like that. I guess we'll find out there, or if that will also be standardized. Overall, though, this is really huge in terms of like play around Baron and how teams can maybe try to steal. Of course, stealing Baron from red side was easier because you can walk straight up to the pit with the wall to potentially protect you. And I guess on the other hand, with the wall to maybe even keep you out depending on what champion you're playing. So they're going to standardize that. But this is also huge for early invades as well. Right now, champions like Jarvan, Kindred, and Graves, they can go over Baron Pit to avoid those walls early. Like, let's say they finish their red buff and they want to go to the enemy blue side blue buff or top side camps, they can go over that wall, and vice versa, of course. This lets them avoid vision, but now this is going to be removed, and any champion is going to be able to walk very freely to that red buff. Now, think of all the paths in general that this actually opens up from both red and Raptors on red side, all the way through to the blue side top jungle, or even towards top lane. Now, speaking of top lane, Riot is completely closing the opening to top lane through that now removed Tribrush. Well, actually, we don't actually know if Tribrush is being removed or if it's still there, but we do know that they're actually kind of standardizing access to top lane for both sides of the map. So for both red and blue, the way junglers can enter top is going to be kind of one way. Really though, this is kind of a buff to Kayn and any other champion that can blink through walls, such as like Shaco, maybe Rek'Sai as well. We might see some more interesting gank paths open up, but overall, red side top laner should be a bit safer from the blue side jungler. I really can't understate how big of a change this is, and there's a good chance that Riot might be doing the same thing to bot lane, but we don't have any confirmation on that. Time will tell. Now, the other change I want to talk about is an image we've got about mid lane. As you can see here, one of the walls has actually been entirely removed, and the river seems quite a bit wider. Now, it also looks like from the bottom perspective of the mid lane that the same thing is going on there. It appears as if there is a wider river basically, and as well, look at this on the right hand side, we can see a wall potentially blocking a way into the jungle besides the tower there. So these are actually huge changes and have frankly massive implications for how a jungler might be able to gank mid lane. First of all, we can see that the bush is pushed farther back, and therefore junglers will be spotted much earlier coming into mid lane. I assume it's the same on the bottom side. As well, you're going to be, really it looks like the lane is just wider here, which might open up a bit more implication in terms of how mid laners fight and how they interact with the rest of the map. And as I'm looking at it right now, we can also see a wall on the towards the blue side top jungle in the bottom left there. So yeah, massive changes, guys. Well, that's all I'm going to cover today. I'm sure we're going to be getting more information about how Season 14 is shaping up, including the rest of the map changes here, pretty soon. If you enjoyed this type of video, leave a like and a sub. Helps me grow. Thanks guys, I'll be back with more information soon. Pope Pay out.